Well, we all know some of the perils we've had here at Bayern Munich this year, particularly off the pitch, the wranglings with the director of football. And to be fair, it could get worse this summer because there are two or three players who want out. Having said that, we have got a chance to do something very special and win a domestic double despite all of the noise. We've only had 13 senior players most of the year. We are 8 clear with 5 to play. We go away to Bayer Leverkusen in our toughest today, but I've got a big decision to make with team selection because our next game is 4 days later in a German Cup Semi Final. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 88 of the head coach with me, Daniel. We are back today with our 8-point gap to Dortmund restored thanks to their defeat after the international break at Leipzig. And today we are looking to keep that gap by producing a big moment away at Bayer Leverkusen, a side that in 4th place are battling for Champions League football and have plenty of quality to cause trouble themselves. If they win it, they go 8 points behind us and will fancy their chances of maybe competing too. Yes, I think it's a matter of time given the running we've got. But what do we do about Wednesday? Do I rest players for this game and think we'll get the job done against Dusseldorf and Kaiserslautern? Do I take the risk or do I go, we've got to win this game. Let's get the job done. If you want to find out what I choose, if you want to see how we get on in this one, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Don't forget, we battered them at home this year, but we have struggled to win away at the top sides. Last time against Hamburg, we got absolutely battered. And while we've bounced back since then against poorer opposition, there's still not a great deal to shout about. We've had a pretty rubbish youth intake, which we mentioned last time, but it hasn't got any better. And even then, the players' star ratings are going down a bit. A few have been signed on, but it's not going to be the solution. So let's have a look at the schedule, because we have played 3 games and we've won them. Yes, against poor opposition. 4-0 at home to Hoffenheim with Vanner, Hervenhoff, Wirtz and Helsen. 2-0 away at Hertha Berlin with Paul Vanner and a returning DL off the bench. And then in his first start after injury, DL got the opening 2 before Wirtz caught Savic from the penalty spot and Jeremy Pino made it 5. So we now go into our final 6 games. The last 2 at home against 2 of the bottom 4 should be bankers. We go away to the bottom team. We only need 3 wins to win the title. Do I rest everyone for this Leverkusen game and go, or rest as many as possible, I should say, and say we're going to win the final 3 league games and prioritise the Frankfurt match? I feel that's the way I have to go. We know Ribeiro's out long term. They've got a couple of injuries. And because they're still battling for a place in Europe via the league, they might as well go a little bit stronger. They drew yesterday against Augsburg. They've got an extra day off after, which is a bit of a pain for us. But he did lose their star striker in that match, which is a big, big positive for us moving into the semi-final. We've struggled a bit away from home, so it does make me cautious, as does what happening with the dynamics at the minute. Yes, the club atmosphere is excellent. We've now got Ultrock wanting out. He's asking for 70 grand a week. And this is another knock-on effect of the problems with the director of football this year. These young players, Rafa now's about to be the next one. They're getting to that 20 league appearances and they're getting those big boosts in their contract that they would normally never earn. And now they want silly money. I mean, Ultrock wanted to be a regular first choice, despite De Ligt and Korsavich clearly being ahead of him. Helsen wants to go. Davis still moaning about the Champions League. It's not ideal. But if we go through the tactical meeting, the one benefit of being out of Europe is that we've generally only been playing once a week. We've not got the luxury to rotate the whole squad. We know that. But not many have a heavy match load. We've got a few players that are quite light. I think for a few key positions, we might rest people. In the last game, Lewis Skelly and Justin Diel both made their first start after injury. You can see Sabaya got a rest. You can see that Pino got a rest. The Lig got one too. So we have been rotating this squad quite a bit. We've got Fernandez back from a 3-week injury. So those with a light match load we can get in. But I think we are going to have to make a few adjustments. I don't want to have too many with a heavy match load come midweek. So let's go and make a few changes to this team. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well, I don't want to get too excited, but because of a couple of players returning from injury, and I know a little bit because I've chosen to start Ultrock today, we've actually got 5 senior substitutes and a couple of youth players in Now and McKendy that are pretty competitive. So definitely our strongest squad for a long time. We have also got a few players that are building fitness, and we're sort of rotating the ones we rest. So Korsavic is dropping out for this game. Vanna, who's been the form player at the club, is dropping out. Wirtz and Sanchez also get a rest. Herbenhoff just needed a break after playing every game while the others were injured. Miles Skelly and, of course, Justin Diel will continue to build their fitness. The only one I wanted to rest that I couldn't was Alphonso Davies, but I will bring on maybe Noah for him a bit later on, or even Sanchez, and push Helson back, depending on how the game lies. But we see returns for Fernandez, De Ligt, Sabaya, Pino and Helson, who all missed out last week, and we've still got a strong senior squad. So we're actually in better nick than we've been all season, and this is the team I've opted for. It is Trubin between the sticks, goalkeeper can play, doesn't matter. Fernandez and Davis out wide with Ultrok and De Ligt as centre-half. Sabaya and Lewis Skelly reunited in midfield. Helson and Marquinhos on the wings. And then Pino moving into the number 10 position behind Justin Diel up front. Through to the game we go away at Leverkusen. Is the team strong enough with the back four rotated? We'll find out as we go into it. But away at Leverkusen, they've got some pretty good players. A lot of good young ones. Still got Tapsoba and Original and a few other big names. But look on the bench, the man we lost in January to them. Stefan Minkwitz, our former wonder kid. Will he come on and have a telling impact? We'll find out in a few moments' time. Let's ask the lads to prove a point. We're still getting reactions out of them, but our recent away performances have not been great. And against the top sides this year, I don't think we've won any of them. Let's get into the first half here and see if we can change it for the most important time of the season. Well, 25 minutes on the clock. It's been a quiet start to the game, but we've got a corner kick. Marquinhos with a pinpoint delivery. And De Ligt really should have scored. I mean, he must be declining now. He must be 34. 33 years of age, physically just starting to go downhill a bit, but still a great professional, brilliant mentoring group lead. And to be fair, he's still playing pretty well most of the time. It's been an even first half. Leverkusen not offered a lot. We've nicked the ball back here with Helson, Jeremy Pino. Considering maybe 3 or 4 of our best players are sitting on the bench, and probably our fittest and most potent striker recently is too, then we've got to be happy with where we are. As Ultrok wins that header, Sabaya gets there. Thought that was going to be a red card for a minute. As Jeremy Pino goes back to Davis and now Lewis Skelly. Lovely to have him back fit at this stage. As Sabaya goes into the Ligt again. He's on a booking. We'll have to be careful with him. We have got Korsavic on the bench as Fernandez almost gives it away. Had 3 or 4 weeks out injured. He looked a little rusty there. Lewis Skelly to Ultrok. Long highlight, lots of possession. Can we nick a late first half lead? Helson cuts inside from the left to Sabaya. Lewis Skelly over to Helson. You don't lose the quality. Lewis Skelly out injured for 3 months, but a beautiful through ball. And you can see why Helson's complaining. He's the backup left winger. He's probably the 3rd or 4th best player at the club. We've played him at left back a few times, but we've not had enough chance to give him starts. And to be honest, if I were looking at this in the summer and I were in charge of transfers, I'd probably be willing to sacrifice him to bring in 5 or 6 great players, which he would command that level of transfer fee. As Marquinhos crosses, Helson's up. He's done it again. He's actually in better form than Sanchez at the minute. Maybe he's the man to turn to in midweek. Do we have to rest him to end up starting him in the game? I don't know. Could be a big option in a cup match. As we ask the lads to prove a point, we're going to talk to Helson separately and say, you are playing brilliantly. Doesn't react because he doesn't like me at the minute. As we go into the second half, he's been ruthless in front of goal and he might be leading us towards a crucial win. Oh, hang on a minute. Leverkusen in. Poor goal. That would have been to concede. We just about get it back with Fernandez. But there's the value of a top keeper. Since Trubin's returned, we've been a lot more mean at the back. And that was a fabulous save. Both centre-halves now on a yellow. Might have to go Ultrok for Korsavic. Just make sure we keep this lead. As the corner comes in, I might have left it too late. Headed away at the back post by Ultrok in fairness. The Nilsson will get there though. It's going to be another wave of attacks. We're under a bit of pressure here early in the second half. And Bayer are causing problems down the right. The Nilsson picks it up again. Looks backwards. Nearly nicked by the striker. But in goes to Silva. Ultrok does well. Doesn't fully clear it though. These long old highlights do worry me. It's got to lead to something. And they've had 2 or 3 chances already here. Taps over wide. They're having real success out on this right wing. Good block by Davis. Falls for the Silva. The worry is I know I've got to take Davis off too. And what is that going to do to us defensively there? Can I afford to do it? Smets is in. That's got to be offside. Got to be offside. The flag goes up. We await further news, but I think we're all right here. We obviously know we're getting to the point where Lewis Skelly and DL have to come off. The goal is disallowed. I think what I might do here, and I know it takes away our biggest attacking threat, I'm going to move Helson to a support duty, just so we've got that extra bit of support of fullback. And with 65 on the clock, we have to say goodbye to Lewis Skelly. Paul Vanna will come on there. DL will be replaced by Hervenhoff. I think we're going to go Altrop for Korsavich as well. Just make our defence as strong as it can possibly be. And then we'll make a few more in 5 minutes. Really, I'd like to get Davis off. I don't know about putting Helson left back in a game like this. He's getting better at it, but we're talking about their biggest threat being the right winger. And I'm not sure I want to risk it. Vanna's the form player. I've brought him on. And he's got injured within 5 minutes. That stops us resting someone too. I'm going to go Florian Wirtz so we're as solid as possible. He'll go into that sort of centre midfield role as a deep line playmaker on defend. And then I am going to take off Alphonso Davis. I tell you what I might do. We're going to bring on Rafa Nauer. No, I'm not. I'm going to bring Sanchez on. Sanchez left wing, Helson left back. Let's just do what we can here. Might even move the wing backs to defensive duties. But with 18 to go, again, just as I was talking about getting everyone fit, actually having a decent bench, the form player of the last 6 weeks picks up a knock. Oh, come on. They've not even got heavy match loads now. What's your excuse? We're down to 10. I'm actually going to tuck the wingers in now and put them as sort of wide midfielders. We will go wing back on defend, wing back on defend, and Marquinhos just standard winger on support, because this is a brutal finish. We're going to time waste all the time. We're going to drop the tempo. We'll play for set pieces because we're brilliant from them. We'll slow the pace down when we get it. And out of possession, we'll drop that line of engagement a bit. I'm actually going to just go a bit more cautious for once. We'll even drop to a balanced mentality. But at this point, avoiding defeat would still be good, because 11 against 10, this could get tricky. And this man has been the danger. Out to the left he goes. Was it onside? It looks like it was. Out to the edge. Hervenhoff does well. They're still going with Agata. Out to the right, where we've been absolutely rinsed today. Back to the silver again. Can we hold on under all this pressure? Agata gets it, but we've seen it out. 2 injuries in really crucial positions at the wrong time. An area we've not got much depth. Lewis Skelly will now have to play more minutes than we wanted. Marquinhos, I'd banked on playing 90 because we have Pino. I need at least one of those injuries to not be bad. 5 minutes added on. It's been a brilliant job, well done. And I think with this win, we can say Bundesliga title secured, because that will be an 8-point gap with 4 games to go. And we're playing 3 of the bottom 4 as well. It could even be very close to secured if Dortmund don't win their game today, because that would make it either 10 or 11 points. Let's have a look at it. Dortmund yet to play, but they're 11 behind. They've got 5 games to go. Let's see how they get on in theirs, and let's see how bad these injuries are ahead of midweek, because as you saw at the start, I was just celebrating returning to a full complement, and it's all come falling down. And in Vanna's case, it's the form player at the club. Well, the first bit of good news after this is that Alphonso Davis has dropped his unhappiness, which is good timing, to be honest, ahead of the Cup semi-final. The injuries, though, are not. Pino is out for 6 weeks. Paul Vanna is out for 4 weeks. That's basically goodbye to the season for both. Vanna might be back for the Cup final if we make it there. Helson, though, was brilliant. Could we be playing one of those left wingers as the number 10? I don't know. But Miles Skelly, you're going to be back right into the fire, because you're going to have to play again in 4 days' time. Frankfurt away. Why did they even bring the senior players on? They've had a weekend to forget on the injury front too. So let's skip ahead to it. The German Cup semi. And see if we can reach a final and edge closer to a domestic double, via finding out how Dortmund get on tomorrow. Well, the Dortmund game is a 5:30 kickoff. Let's see how they get on away from home. They have won 2-0. They've done their job. They are 8 behind with 4 to go. So we're going to have to win a couple of games. But still, we're very much in the box seat after a brilliant league campaign. Now we turn our attention to the Cup and 8th place Frankfurt, who we visit on Wednesday. Well, we've reached fitness test time and we're being recommended not to play Miles Lewis Skelly, but the injury to Vanna has taken that option out of our hands. He's got to get through this one, then he can have the weekend off. Just looking at the other semi-final here, Leverkusen, who we played at the weekend, are facing second-tier Hansa Rostock. Imagine they pull off a shock, we can get through and play second-tier opposition in the final. Wouldn't that be lovely? As it is, if we do get past Frankfurt, I think it might be a reunion with Leverkusen. Let's have a look at how the fitness is holding up though. I mean, we're being recommended to put in 3 youth players, 2 of which aren't even in the squad at the minute. This is a real blow, isn't it? Pino is unavailable, Vanna unavailable. Korsavich back into defence though, which gives us our first choice 4. In midfield, we go Sabaya and Skelly again. But who on earth plays number 10? That's the question. Florian Wirtz can come in. So actually, the 11's pretty unaffected. The problem is the bench is very light again. We are now down to what? 3 senior subs? 2 senior subs, isn't it, from an outfield point of view? Sanchez and Hervenhov. I've got to stick with Helson after his performance. We have to leave Sanchez out, our best player at the club. Let's get to the bench though, and we are going to go. Kolner is another centre midfielder, which we're going to need. And then Heidenfelder is a wide player because now we are without a couple out on that right-hand side. So let's have a look at the squad for today. The changes are, well, less than I'd anticipated because Wirtz comes in as the number 10. Korsavich comes in at centre-half after a rest. Lewis Skelly was going to drop out for Vanna, and DL was going to drop out for Hervenhoff, and Helson was going to drop out for Dylan Sanchez. But due to the form, we're going to keep Helson in, and Lewis Skelly has to stay in because of injury. Marquinhos the same, due to Pino's one. So let's go and get into it, the German Cup semi-final. Can we keep the double chase on? This is a huge game because in a one-off match, we know anything can happen. Our away form, despite improving in that last game, is still not convincing. They've got one of the big FM wonder kids of the year. Valentin Barco is in the Frankfurt side. Skipper as well, must be about 30 now. Dovin in goal, I recognise. They've got a Loa as well. Can't beat that name. Luton legend Kazenga. Felix Pastic on the bench. But a fair few young players in this team. It was the one thing that struck me when we played them in the league. They had a lot of physicality and a lot of youth and exuberance. Are they going to be able to show it here on the biggest stage? Away from home in a semi-final, and with a few legs running on empty here. I can't see the likes of Marquinhos and Lewis Skelly lasting that long. So we're going to need a big first hour. Unfortunately, Hansa Rostock stream is over. Red card and a Bayer Leverkusen goal in the first 5 minutes. As Barco puts a free kick in. Helson away. Wirtz can't get it clear. Ivanschitz gets it to Jens. 25 yards out. They're looking for space with Barco. Marquinhos does well, but the pass puts De Ligt in danger. What a ball out to Florian Wirtz, though, who is robbed again by Barco. Gets back to atone for his mistake. Davis is chasing the ball out from left back. Will him ending his unhappiness make a difference? I don't know, but this is a long highlight. Wirtz has nicked it. DL's got the option right in Marquinhos. 3 in the middle, 4 arriving. To the byline. Cleared away at the front post, but Fernandez back for Marquinhos again. Cuts in for Lewis Skelly. Wide towards Helson. It's under hit. But Korsavich has nicked it in their half again. Marquinhos to Sabaya. Marquinhos in. DL's offside. Scores the goal, but it won't count. It's a lovely bit of movement from the January sign-in, but he just went too soon. Nice to see us fighting hard to win the ball back, though. The goal is disallowed. We're going to encourage the boys because that was better. With 20 gone, it's still goalless. And Frankfurt are a threat, as we saw a minute ago. Long ball forward from the free kick, though, which Lewis Skelly intercepts for DL, who's got the magic touch. Helson might. He's down the left. Good ball in. Well cleared away at the front post again. Fernandez to Sabaya, who goes back to Korsavich. And we start another wave of attack. Alphonso Davis on the run. Made space by Helson cutting inside. Good ball into Marquinhos. Oh, it's over. If Pino had been in there, if it had been coming from the other side, that would have been a goal. And that is the difference between the elite players and the very good backups. As it's a corner kick for Frankfurt. Is Barco going to make us pay? Into the front post it goes. De Ligt does well. Only as far as Jens though. And now Barco again. Bit too much space for my liking. And Trubin has to save the day. We're going to encourage because the morale's a little bit flat at the minute. Maybe a few nerves about. And with half an hour on the clock, we do not want to go behind. Roth's head up. Pretty simple for Trubin. Another 3-1 for them at the front post. It's an even game on paper, this. We have not dominated by any stretch. We're 10 to half time. It's all to play for. And 0-0, DL's unhappy. Helson's having a stinker. I might have made some issues with team selection here. Fernandes finds Marquinhos. The players I was umming and ahhing about as well. As the positive is, we've got senior backups for them on the bench. As Lewis Skelly has been robbed of possession, running out of steam already, but Davis wins it back. It's a buy-up for Korsavic. Time on the ball to play out. Can he find that pass from defence? Go short to De Ligt, his more experienced partner. He looks wide for Thiago Fernandes. Options down the line. Chips it up for Wirtz. Behind the fullback. In across the box. Why is DL not making a run? Zabaya finds Lewis Skelly. Helson turns his man. But he's forced backwards. Why is no one up there? Helson gets to the byline. This time there's 3 in the middle. And Marquinhos, second time, makes no mistake. 1-0 to FC Bayern right before half-time. It has not been a vintage performance, but on the balance of play, we've just about deserved that. And in the end, we lead 1-0 before the break. Doesn't matter how you're playing the cups, you've got to get the job done. Let's prove a point in the second half as Helson does deliver the magic moment. Marquinhos nods it in, and we lead into the second half when it's flicked down by Frankfurt for Mbamba. DL tries to win it back. Not had a good game, has he? Harnell goes over the top. Keeper comes. That's easy to deal with. Trubin, plenty of options to roll out. Korsavic has got options to his right. Sabaya's one of them. Now Thiago Fernandes can go on a little run. Overcooked it with his first touch though. Loa wins it back. And we've still not looked that convincing as Jens finds him again. Through to Ulrich. 2 in the middle. Fernandes atones though. De Ligt for Korsavic. Bit of a frantic game. Little bit of a hot potato feel when teams are on the ball. But Lewis Skelly trying to change that. What a run this is. Carries it 60 yards. Just back from long-term injury. And he cuts it back to the edge to Alphonso Davies. Ends his in happiness and gets rewarded with a big lucky deflection. His shot was going comfortably to the keeper his left. And it went down into his right-hand corner. Lovely deflection and a big moment. Great run from Lewis Skelly for the assist. And Alphonso Davies, one of the experienced boys, he makes it 2 as the second half has just begun. They've got the ball at the back though, and they're still threatening. They're still pushing here. 1 goal and I could see us panicking as Loa gets down the left towards the byline. Into the box, great run. Really good ball. And that's where I wanted DL from the cross in the first half. Ulrich puts it in. Trubin's beaten. No idea where De Ligt is, to be honest with you. And right on time, Frankfurt have got back in this. And the tie is now a little bit more squeaky than it was before. Leverkusen are comfortable in theirs. With an hour gone, I'm going to make a couple of changes because DL basically been a waste of space up there. He's going to be replaced by Hervenhov. My only other senior sub is Dylan Sanchez. And the one I want to take off is Marquinhos, but I haven't got anyone who can play on the right. Helson just can't do it. Sanchez can't do it. Do you think they'd be all right? If I just put them out there, they'd be fine anyway, wouldn't they? So let's put Sanchez out on the right. We've not done this before. And what a time to choose, eh? We'll do him a swap in position with Helson. And then the two of them, they can just have a bit of a field day and try and cause some confusion. We've got just under half an hour remaining. And Frankfurt are giving us one hell of a game. As Lewis Skelly, how long is he going to last now? Finds Sanchez on the left who carries it forward. The worst thing about the Skelly one, as Sanchez into Helson, down for Wirtz. Back to Helson again. Still a threat from the right in the air, isn't he? The worst thing about Skelly coming off is that we probably have to put one of the defenders into midfield and put Ultrich into centre half, which will really mess with the back line. We've got 10 minutes to go here. I'm looking at the bench and I don't really want to bring any of them on. That's the concern at the moment. Florian Wirtz is nervous and he's struggling, but I'm just going to wait. This is the sort of game where I don't think you need the 5 subs. And you certainly don't need them unless you're time wasting at the end. Korsavic is going to get the ball from a free kick. Plays out to Alphonso Davies. Gives it away with a really poor pass. And that's not what you need from your most experienced players. This goes to extra time, we're screwed. But we've nicked it high up again with Hervenhov. Wirtz picks it up for Sanchez. Chance to chip over. It's beyond Hervenhov. Keeper does well, but it's not a good ball. Can I risk Lewis Skelly for the whole 90? I mean, what do we do if we go to extra time with him in there? Well, one back by Fernandes for Sabaya. Wirtz down the right to Sanchez. Please get me the 3rd goal. Dylan Sanchez in. Deflects through to Dovin. Not ideal that, but with 5 to go, I am going to make a third sub, and I'm going to bring on Hornshaw as the number 10. 2 minutes to go. The first youth player is on. 4 minutes of stoppage time, and you can forgive me for this, can't you? I'm going to drop to balanced. We're going to put the wing backs on defend, and we are going to time waste our backsides off to make sure we get to this final. Support duty for Helson or Sanchez, whoever's out there. Same for Hornshaw in the number 10. Drop the tempo, time waste, play for set pieces, slow that pace down, boys. And also out of possession, drop that line of engagement. Fourth sub will be made, which will be Helson off for Heidenfelder. The reason I'm not making a fifth is because if we do get pegged for extra time, I'll need to take off Fernandez on a yellow and Skelly, who just can't do more than 90. Let's get through the 4 minutes added on. Can we survive it? You bet we can. 4 minutes added done. We are through to the German Cup final after a few too many minutes of stoppage time. And that is absolutely massive. It was one of our poorest performances in a while. But we've got through. We've done the job. And when you add to that the fact that, well, we've managed to get ourselves virtually within reach of the Bundesliga title. It is a reunion with Bayer Leverkusen again that we will return for next time. We played them at the start of this episode. We've basically wrapped up the Bundesliga due to beating them. And after squeaking our way past Eintracht Frankfurt, we will face them again at Berlin's Olympia Stadion as we look to wrap up the domestic double and what would be an incredible finish to a very difficult year. We will have fun playing through the summer just to see what happens anyway. But if you're looking forward to what will be a big finale to Season 10 on Monday, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. We will be back for our final league game just to celebrate the title party. And for Bayer Leverkusen yet again, but this time in a German Cup final. Can we wrap up the double? Come and join me to find out. If you enjoyed this one, do chuck a thumbs up on it. If you want to stay up to date with everything across the channel, including a big one from Southend tomorrow, and a couple of experiments coming up with this database once we finish this save, then please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. Don't forget, once this career finishes, we will start the alternate head coach. But whether it will finish this summer will depend on whether the transfer glitch is resolved. For now, though, there's plenty of other stuff to get your teeth sunk into during the next few days. We've got loads of live streams over on the Twitch channel, which you can find a link to up in the eye above. There's also plenty from the football podcast where the EFL and National League playoffs are on the horizon. There's a big finish to the Premier League Season 2. There's loads there. So come and subscribe in the eye above. And come and join in the fun in the comments with the predictions, because it's been brilliant all season. I've really enjoyed it. We're also going to be back here on Monday with this save, so make sure you join us for that. A big finish to the season, a disaster off the pitch, but could yet be a blinding success on it. I'll see you next time to find out if it is.